Hello everyone, this is Shrutilaya Madan Mohan from the Department of Science, Chettinad Vidyashram, Chennai. Today in this video, we are going to look at the harmful effects of cigarette smoking on the body, particularly the respiratory system. So let us first have a look at the human respiratory system. We inhale air containing oxygen and other gases through our nose, which enters the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is lined with hair and mucus to remove or filter out the dust and dirt. The air travels to the pharynx, which is a common passageway for both food and air, then to the larynx, which is a voice box. The air then travels through the trachea, which is colloquially called the windpipe. The trachea branches into two, the left and right bronchi, which further branch into finer, smaller channels called bronchioles. The air travels through and finally ends into small balloon-like structures called alveoli. Alveoli is the place where the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. From here, blood carries oxygen to the heart and brings back carbon dioxide. When a person starts smoking or is exposed to cigarette smoke, this system of respiration gets damaged. According to the World Health Organization, in India, more than 1 million people die every year due to smoking. Did you know that cigarettes are the only products which cause their long-time customers to die early? So let us see what a cigarette contains. There are over 600 ingredients in cigarettes. When burned, they release more than 7,000 chemicals. 69 of them are proven to cause cancer and many of the rest are poisons. This picture will give you an idea about what type of chemicals people are ingesting when they smoke. Let us start with nicotine, which is an insecticide. It also has a property of changing the state of mind of a person and causes addiction. There is arsenic, which is poison. There is ammonia, which is found in toilet cleaners. There's cadmium, which is found in batteries, and many more. Now that we know what a cigarette is made of, I'm sure you would also know the consequence of smoking and as to how the body may suffer. There are two main respiratory diseases or lung diseases associated with cigarette smoking. First is COPD, which is the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. COPD itself is a group of lung disease that blocks the airflow and makes it difficult to breathe. It is a combination of chronic bronchitis and emphysema. We will look into these two in the next slide. Next is lung cancer. Lung cancer is the abnormal growth of cell that can result in lumps, masses or tumor. It may start in any area of the respiratory system. And smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer. It accounts for about 80% of all lung cancers. Now, what is chronic bronchitis and emphysema? Chronic bronchitis is very common among smokers. It is the long-term inflammation of the bronchioles, which are the breathing tubes. The airways get irritated and it causes increased production of mucus. This can also lead to severe lung infection. And emphysema is a type of COPD where the alveoli get damaged. If you see in this picture, you can see the difference between the normal healthy air sacs or the alveoli and the alveoli which have been damaged by emphysema. Now let us look into the short animation to understand emphysema better. When cigarette smoke is inhaled, it reaches the alveoli where the harmful chemical particles get trapped. That leads to an inflammation response which destroys the inner walls of the alveoli or the septum, leaving behind a large air cavity with carbon deposit. Now as a result, what happens is the body does not get enough oxygen, which leads to breathlessness and persistent cough. Smoking not only causes respiratory diseases and lung cancer, it also adversely affects the whole body. This picture will show you in detail as to how smoking affects all parts of the body. Let's start with brain. It increases the risk of having a stroke by at least 50%. It can lead to mouth and throat cancer, stomach cancer, or ulcer. It reduces the fertility in both men and women. It prematurely ages the skin between 10 to 20 years. It doubles the risk of having a heart attack. It increases the blood pressure and heart rate, and it also causes osteoporosis. Before we conclude, I'd like to talk a little on passive smoking, otherwise called secondhand smoke. It is when a person breathes or inhales other people's cigarette smoke. About 600,000 people die every year due to passive smoking. The chemicals present in cigarette also affect people around the smoker and pose similar health risks. Especially children whose parents smoke are at a higher risk of developing COPD and emphysema, which finally ultimately lead to death. I hope you understand that people who smoke are actually wasting their hard earned money and just hurting themselves and the people around them. In conclusion, I hope you have all understood the dangers of cigarette smoking and that you will think no and say no to smoking. Prevention is always better than cure, as it is very hard to come out of addiction. Smoking is not normal, it's uncool. It degrades our health, family, environment, and ultimately the planet. I encourage each and every one of you to take a step forward in ending this epidemic due to cigarettes. Thank you.